Hi everyone, I am working again with the Sale-a-Bration catalog. I just really love this time of year. July and August, free stuff. So the Sale-a-Bration offerings this year are really fun. There's some stamp sets and some papers and even some dies. Really cool, and I wanted to show you one of the items you can get free with a $50 purchase, and it's right here. I almost missed it because it kind of blends in, so I really wanted to point it out. It's the Silver and Gold 6x6 Designer Series paper. You get 24 sheets, and so it's 12 gold and 12 silver, and there's 2 designs in each. So I'm going to show you those. And they made some really beautiful samples here on the catalog page, and I'm going to show you kind of an idea of what you can do with this paper. Now, it's beautiful just left alone. So I think it's really pretty. And you get 6 stripe silver, 6 stripe gold, and then you get 6 dot silver and 6 dot gold. And the background's white, so it's really versatile, and I think it's fun to add things like color and blending brushes. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use the stamp set Hydrangea Haven. And I bought this back when it first came out. I think it's a couple years ago, and I never got around to using it. So many stamps, so little time. Do you feel that way? I sure do. I loved it. I think it's beautiful. I have a really pretty hydrangea in my yard, and so I really like this stamp set. It has a lot of good fonts. It's really fun. So I'm going to use that. I'm making myself use things that I bought that I love that I haven't gotten around to, and this is one of them. So I want to show you how to create some fun backgrounds, and I'm going to start, let's see, last time I used gold stripe, so I'm going to use silver stripe this time. And all I did was I wanted a very soft feeling with the hydrangea, so I grabbed, this is Soft Seafoam Blends and Pool Party Blend and Fresh Freesia, and these are all the lights from those 3 colors. So I didn't use any of the darks here, and all I need is a little strip, so I'm just kind of going to go down using the brush side, and I'm just going to ink some stripes. I'm doing every 3rd one. I need about 1.5 inches, so let's see, or 1.25 inches. It's a little more than I'm doing. So I'll go down a little bit, and every 3rd one I'm coloring. And the markers kind of still let that shine of the foil paper show through. So it's just a fun and easy way to customize this paper for any project that you need it. I'll fast forward for the other colors so you don't have to watch me do the same thing for so long. So that's a really pretty way to color your paper, and I did it before with the gold, and here it is with the silver. I think it's really pretty. It kind of looks even lighter with the silver. Something about that gold makes this seem deeper. Okay, and all I want is a little strip of this for my card. So let's see. And 5.5. There we go. So to put this card together, well, actually, you know what, I'll do the other, I'm going to do my other background, and then we'll do the cards. I want you to stick around. Hopefully you'll stick around for the cards, because I really do. I think they're very pretty, and I hope that you'll like them. But for this one, I'm going to use blending brushes, and I'm going to use, again, Soft Seafoam, and this time Fresh Freesia, but no Pool Party. So I've got my blending brush out here, and I'm picking up some of this Soft Seafoam, and I'm just going to, I started off the page and kind of worked my way in, and that way I don't get like a harsh thump for my first touch of the paper with that fresh ink. Now this is a very light color, and so I felt like I needed to really work this one quite a bit when I was doing my practice card. The Fresh Freesia, not so much. And I'm not going to do inside the inner part of the panel here because that's going to get covered with another layer. And I'm using really light colors, but imagine how pretty this would be with some dark colors. You can really change the look. That silver dot would be a nice night sky even. Actually, the gold could be a nice night sky too, or fireflies. Pretty. Okay, I think that's enough. And let me then go to the freesia. Now this is a pretty juicy pad. This is going to be darker. So like I said, I like to start off the page and then kind of bring it in. Yeah, see how dark that is? All right, quick work of that one because that one's pretty dark. Okay, so that's all I need for my background. And it really just changes the look of the paper. So just imagine the possibilities here. So many fun possibilities. Okay, so for now I'm going to do some cards using the Hydrangea Haven, and I think it's just a really beautiful set. Right now for Sale-a-Bration, when you spend $50, you get to choose a free item. I don't know if that's big enough. And you can choose, or you can buy the Hydrangea bundle and use that as your purchase, and then get some of that fun foil paper for free. Here's a scrap that'll work. Okay, so this stamp has some fun layering possibilities. I'm going to do one with a layering with a stamp, and then I'm going to do another one watercolor. I love to watercolor. I think it turned out really great with this particular stamp set, so I hope you'll follow for that. Okay, so I'm going to stamp with StazOn just because I'm going to be watercoloring, even though I'm not watercoloring on this first one. Ooh. Ink that up. There we go. I probably should have used my Stamparatus. Just because if you miss a spot, you can go back over it. Okay, let's see if I can get two on this scrap. Okay. Okay, like I said, for the first one, I'm going to use the stamps as my filler. So I'm going to use this background stamp and this leaf, and I'm going to use soft sea foam. And this soft sea foam, I'm going to have to stick my head under the camera because I like to line it up perfectly. The leaf fits pretty perfectly over the image here. Excuse my head. There. So it's a little larger than the image. Now the flower bunch, same thing, it's going to be larger than the image. So don't make yourself crazy twisting and turning to get it right, because you're not going to get it right. There is no right. So like I said, my pad's pretty juicy and I want this to be very light. So I'm stamping off just to remove some of that excess ink. And then I'm going to come in here and stamp. And that way I get a softer color. And I like the look of that. In my yard, I have one this color. It's funny, when I got it, it was a gift for a job promotion. So I've had it a really long time because I stopped working at that job 20 years ago when my son was born. But it was a job promotion, and my parents sent it to my office. It was a beautiful hydrangea in a planter, and I thought, is this going to survive in the office very long? And I was worried that it would probably die. So I planted it in my yard, not sure how it would come out, and it's actually survived all these years. But it was blue when they gave it to me, a really pretty blue. But when I planted it and it came back, it's now kind of more pink. It's actually a little more pink than that. And I was told that it's because of the pH balance of my soil. There you go. Okay, so this one I'm going to watercolor. So I like to use our water pens. I think they call it a water brush. I love these things. They're so great for travel. And I'm just going to, I put ink in my lid because I do this so often. I watercolor with these and I just like to be fast. But if you don't like to get ink in your lid, a nice way to get a little palette is to put some ink on a block, just stamp it, and work from there. But I've already got ink in my lid, so I'm just going to go for it. Now for this, I like to have, you can use a paper towel, but I like to use my Stampin' Scrub, and I think it's a great way to clean between colors, and it doesn't use so much paper towel, so I'm going to use that. So I just give it a little squeeze and get my brush tip wet, and then I'm going to pick up some of this soft sea foam. Now I'm being quick and loose here, so I'm just kind of going over my leaf, pick up a little bit more. I want it to be kind of a little more wet, and fast and loose here, and then I'm going to go back in and give it a little detail. So it's super easy to get a beautiful look with this hydrangea. So I just did my leaf insides. I'm going to do a real quick swipe on the stem. Okay, and now we're going to go back in, pick up more ink. I'm going right in the well there of the ink. I'm going to get, just want it to be darker. I'm just going to kind of give it a darker area, kind of on the vein, but I want it to bleed out a little bit. Kind of right in the center there, just kind of give it just a different value, different darkness. Okay, so that's it for my soft sea foam. And then I'm going to clean the brush just by giving it a squeeze. The water runs down and just twirling it around, and now I have a clean brush. So fast, right? Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the flower. Now this one I spent a little more time on because I love it so much. So it's still, I think, simple. So I hope that you'll try it. I'm getting my barrel, or I'm squeezing the barrel to let the water run down. So it's a little bit wet, and I'm making myself a little watery area of the ink right here. And I like to pull it off to the side so that I've got a very watery mix for a light color. And I'm just going to go in and kind of go around the petals. And I'm leaving some of the areas, the centers around those black dot centers, I'm intentionally leaving them white because the one in my yard was like that. And then I'm going to add a dot in the middle of the soft sea foam, and hope that you'll see at the end that it's very pretty. So I'm being fast though. You don't have to go on each individual petal. You don't have to follow the lines of the petal. Just be quick so you can see how fast this goes, because I'm doing this in real time. I'm not going to fast forward because I do want you to see that it's pretty quick and really easy to do. Okay, so I kind of did that. Now I want to go back in. I'm going to pick up that darker ink again. I need a little bit more water on my brush. I'm going to go in and get that darker ink. And I'm going to do the shadow areas between the flowers that, so it would be like, you know, in the bush of the flower, in the bunch, there's going to be some, you know, in the background here that are farther away. That's a little darker than I meant to be. But I'm just going to go in and do the shadow areas. And again, don't be perfect. Just go for it and get in that dark color. Just periodic little bits of darker. And that'll give the illusion of some depth here in your flower bunch. Okay. Again, not perfect. See, I'm doing this really fast and loose. Okay, so then one more swipe with my freesia. I'm going to get myself a little more water. I'm going to get some darker. And I'm going to kind of intentionally now do a few petals, just fast, just getting some. We went and did light on the petals, but now we're just going to do on the tips some of the petals darker, and maybe around the outside edge here get a little darker. And I'm not being precise, I'm being fast. So I'm just adding we just want that change in darks and lights, so it does look like a bunch. And some are shadowing the others, and then just some of the ones around the edge, maybe a touch more. And you don't want your brush to be too dry because you like that flow of watercolor a little bit. Okay, so I think I've got enough of my petals done. Okay, now I'm going to squeeze that brush and twirl it around on my Stampin' Scrub to get that freesia color gone. And I go back with the soft seafoam, and here I am just going to dot some of the seafoam in some of the centers. And that is how my hydrangea is. It's got little, it's like the centers have just a little green stameny kind of area. I don't know if that's called. That little area is kind of like a green, like a little seedling looking area. And it really, you're barely doing it. You're not doing every flower. You're just kind of touching some of them just to give that center some, it makes it just bright and cheery and fresh looking. I think that really, for some reason to me, that little green dot adds something. I don't know why, but it does. Okay, I hope you like it. Okay, that's all I'm going to do with that one. And I think that coloring is really pretty, and it looks so soft. And see the difference. So if you're in a hurry and you just want to do something fast, that's really pretty. And if you want to have some more time and you want to play around, try it. It's really a fun thing to color because you can just be fast, and yet it still looks like you maybe colored individual petals, but you didn't. You just kind of went fast. Do you know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes some sense. Okay, so let's put these cards together. First, let me cut these guys out. I'll do that fast forward. Let me show you the dies real quick though. They're really pretty. I love this one. It's like a bunch. And some of the petals, there's an outline, and then also the petals, you can pull some of them out, so there's dimension there. You can, some of the petal leaves, you can, I don't know how to describe, I should show you. Anyway, poke some of them out. Here's like a row. This is the one I need right there. I think I'm going to use this one. And just really pretty. You can layer on top of the leaves, so you've got this outline in a darker green and do a lighter green. You can, so many things. It's just so pretty. It's a beautiful and well thought out die set, I think. Okay. I need my little strip of washi here to help me keep it in place. So I tend to move things, bump things. Okay, what I failed to mention earlier, shame on me, is that I'm using shimmery white cardstock, and I love shimmery white cardstock. It just adds a shimmer. And you can't tell that so much in the video, unfortunately. The video, this is going to look like plain white. It's not. It's got a shimmer to it. It's really pretty. I'm hoping if the light catches it, you'll see it. But it resists, it stands up to water. If you had done this water on basic white, your paper might pill a little bit. So I can sometimes watercolor on basic white if I am very light. And this is a pretty light watercolor job, but shimmery white is going to be your friend in this one, and it's not as textured and heavy as watercolor paper, which is also beautiful, but for this one I really wanted that softness, and I love the shimmery white. Okay, so let's put the first card together. I am also using shimmery white base, so I've got that, and I'm going to use that stripe. What do I do with it? Here it is. I'm going to use this little stripe here. But before I do, I'm going to put some random small little petals down in the background. It's from the same set. It's this little small guy here. And let's see what will show up in that one. Maybe a couple down low. Just a few. And then there's a filler for that in the freesia. Let's do. So find what I did with that freesia pad. Okay, and again I'm going to stamp off. I'm going to go into the ink and stamp it on my paper to remove some of that ink. And this is not an exact stamp. This is just a filler. It goes over the edge like that. Don't try and line it up. Just go for it. Don't make yourself crazy trying to line that up. Not meant to do that. Okay, so I've got that. And then I've got my stripe. I've got my hydrangea ribbon, or my hydrangea plant. So I'm going to glue this down. Before I glue it, that glue's going to dry. I meant to put some words down here. All right, let me do that real quick. Let's see. What words do I want to use? I think "You Make Me Smile." Completely forgot, and I wanted to do that before I start gluing, just in case I make a mistake. It's kind of too late to go back now, though, even if I do. See how light that is? I did make a mistake. I'm never going to get that. Okay, let's see. I'm going to play around with that, see if I can salvage it. Otherwise, I'll show you my other sample. So, that's what happens when you go in a hurry. So there's my stripe. And then I'm going to put this down with some dimensionals. And then there's a new ribbon in the July to December mini catalog, that soft seafoam seam binding ribbon. It's so pretty. And I'm going to use that. Such a soft ribbon. I really like this ribbon. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to fix my sentiment here with a very fine tip pen. If you've got a small Sharpie, that might work. Alright, it's not perfect, but if you need to salvage something, you can try it. But I'll show you my other sample that I made. That is better. Alright, I need a glue dot for my bow, and this one is done. And then we'll move on to the watercolor one. So I'm going to put the bow, you can kind of decide you want it right up there. Very soft and pretty. And here's the one I did earlier. This one I embossed the words. Okay, now let's do the watercolor one. Again, I'm using a base of shimmery white. We're going to use that dotted paper, and I'm just going to kind of tilt it just slightly to the side. And then I have another piece of shimmery white that I'm going to go ahead and put down, but I'm going to first give a little bit of blending brush to the back here. So I'm going to do that. See if there's enough on here to get some. It's going to be like a little freesia glow behind my flower. On my other sample I did the seafoam, so we'll see which one we like better. So I'm just kind of cleaning off my brush by doing this. I didn't pick up any extra ink. Okay, I think that's enough. Alright, so then I'm going to do this one tilted to, I've got this tilted, I'm going to tilt this one slightly the opposite direction, just slightly. And then I wanted to make a little tag in that die set pretty. In that die set there's a tag die, super cute, and I thought maybe I would do something with that. So I cut a tag out, and usually I like to stamp first, but I did not because I wasn't thinking. And I cut 2 out when I did my first project. So I'm going to take this little flower here, stamp it off, and go ahead and ink it right there, faintly. And then I'm going to stamp right on top of it. Let's see if I can find, there's one that says, "With Love." So cute. Okay, so I've got that. And then let's go ahead and use that same ribbon again. It's so pretty. And some dimensionals. Alright, and then I am going to just tie a bow and pretend that that tag is going through it. So I like to do that sometimes because getting it around here just the way I want it is sometimes difficult. So I like to pretend. So I'm going to do this bow. And this tag kind of separately, which is a little bit silly, I realize. But I have a hard enough time with bows than trying to get a tag around it and then tie the bow. And then I end up making myself nuts. So I'm going to do this.
See, it's hard enough to hold on to.
So I'm going to glue that, I'm going to stick it right where I want it to be with a dimensional. So it can't go anywhere else. I want it to be right there, and I want it to be on a cute little jaunty angle, like that. And then I'm going to glue this down on top, and that is how that's going to go. So I'm going to put a glue dot behind the tag, and another one behind the bow, just like that. Okay, and then you can add some little rhinestones and things. Am I out of little ones? Let's do a couple of these. Just a few. There we go. Alright, I hope you like my Hydrangea cards. Here's the one, here's the other, and this is just a fun way to use the Sale-a-Bration paper. Now that's only free with a $50 purchase in July and August. This is 2020, and thank you so much for watching. If you don't have a demonstrator and need one, I'll put links in the description video, and you can shop right from there. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.